Why hello everybody, Spencer here, also known as LEGO Dude 11, and in today's video, this is a brand new review out on the channel, and in today's video, this is my Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness official spoiler review. There are going to be spoilers in this video, so back out now. If you have not seen the movie, go check it out. It has been out for a couple weeks now, and this is coming out the third week. I always do my reviews a week after the review, so without further ado, let's discuss. Alright, so as I just mentioned, I do these reviews a week after the movie, or a week after I see the movie. Whether that's the first week it comes out, or whenever I happen to see the movie. I do have my list of notes here that I did take down on the movie, so I'm going to get started on that just in a minute here. But if you, just a little bit of housekeeping, if you would like to check out the vlog of this movie that we went and saw, be sure to click the card right up there. This was a very fun, spirited discussion. We had a big, one of my friends had a nice rant about it, and I felt like it was kind of nice to get some insight on that. If you'd like to get some insight of the more or less negative side of the movie, be sure to check that out. I really did enjoy it, and these are going to be my thoughts here. Some of my friends, I kind of want to go in depth. A couple of my friends didn't like the horror aspects, but one of my best friend didn't think that this film had the best exposition. But I'm going to give you my thoughts on it now, and why don't I start off with my favorite thing that I like to talk about, a little bit biasy. But the score and the soundtrack. So Danny Elfman, as you can tell, I'm sorry, another bit of housekeeping. I'm wearing my No Way Home shirt that has Doctor Strange in it, the Portal. I like this shirt a lot. So yeah, thought it would be great to wear to the movie, which I did wear it there. So the score that Danny Elfman did is beyond incredible. Now I don't want to say like, I always say like the scores are incredible, but because I'm a huge fan, I actually wrote a paper last year about music composers, movie composers, and Danny Elfman was one of them. I am a fan of his stuff, of his work. He did from Batman to Batman 1989 to Beetlejuice. I think he did the other Tim Burton. I mean, he's done Nightmare Before Christmas. He actually acted in that as Jack Skellington, and you know, I am just a fan of his stuff. And he did, this isn't actually his first Marvel movie, he actually did Age of Ultron, which I quite like that soundtrack. I am a fan. It's an underrated movie, but the soundtrack from that, I listened to it endlessly. And this movie has brought something else to the table. I love, something else we'll get to, a couple other music motifs I want to get to later. But this soundtrack had great pieces for the different action sequences, as well for the other like love moments, like the heartwarming moments, as well as bringing back the Doctor Strange theme that Michael Giacchino did, who I love Michael Giacchino. It did in the first one, which this movie did little motifs to that theme, which was glorious. I'm glad that they had those in there. So just a little bit of my love for Danny Elfman there. I'm glad that he came back for this movie. Also, something else. Danny Elfman did the original 3 Spider-Man trilogy movies, Sam Raimi directed this one. Which, going along with that, I'll just kind of do a nice segue there, which I love the score that Danny Elfman did for those movies. Sam Raimi is coming back and directing a brand new superhero film, which this, in and of itself, it's magnificent. Like, people going in, I think, I just want to say this topic. There's another topic that I wrote down next to the directing, but I'll say that after this. My love for this movie going in skyrocketed the moment the first reviews came out. I was looking forward to this movie already after Spider-Man No Way Home came out, and because I love the first Doctor Strange. But it skyrocketed after the first reviews came out because of what people were saying about it. And I'm a fan of Sam Raimi's directing. I like the original Spider-Man. I even like the Evil Dead movies. Hence, what he brings to the table here. And I feel like a few people going in, like a couple of my friends aren't really into this genre. And that's okay, but when you don't know like either who the director is or what. Not Doctor Strange, because there's already been a Doctor Strange movie and they had seen that movie, but I feel like when you're going into this expecting, like, you don't know what to expect, even though the title is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, it can kind of be, you can kind of be unsure of what it's about. But I was looking forward to this, and it all, some of it paid off, but I'll explain that in a minute, later. I just like the way that Sam Raimi took his directing style and put it into this movie. So, something I do want to mention, though, the first 20 minutes of this movie are amazing. As well as, I mean, the rest of the movie is great as well, but I guess it can kind of differ on your preference here, as well as my friend's opinion. Like, I guess it's not for him. But anyway, the first 20 minutes are incredibly bonkers, which is like the whole movie. But you, after watching 20 minutes of trailers, which is beyond insane, and then 2 quote commercials, we get into the movie, we have the MCU intro screen, which is, I like that, and then it just jumps right in, out of the gate, with Doctor Strange and America Chavez running from the mummy creature, which we see in the trailer, and I believe it has some sort of specific name, and I don't remember it off the top of my head, because I like Marvel lore, I just can't remember what it is. I believe it's the bands of something. I believe it make like the mummy bands, like the bandages or something. But anyway, they're running away from that, and they're trying to get to the Book of the Damned. And just this sequence in and of itself is so engaging that I could not, like, from the start, I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this? This is incredible. And then it cuts to the wedding scene, or it doesn't cut, it's not like a jarring cut, but it goes into the wedding scene for Christine. And then when that happens, it goes along into the scene where, like, it released on YouTube like a week before the movie came out, with Gargantos, which is in the trailer. So I was floored by the first 20 minutes. It was great. And then, you know, I've heard, I don't know what you guys have heard or not, but I've heard people discuss this film, and, you know, that this film should have been Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Cameos, because yada yada. Like, that's not what I was expecting, right? I was expecting a good movie directed by Sam Raimi, which is what I got, filled with, you know, this horror, action, all this, which I'm going to explain later. But, you know, people said, oh, the second act wasn't as good as the rest of the movie. I'm not sure what the criticism about that is. Like, I was watching going, I was expecting something worse than what people made it out to be. And I'm going, I don't really know anything. Because I really don't understand, like, what the problem was. I was like, this looks good, this looks good, this looks good, and this looks good. And unless I miss it, like, if I watch it a second time, maybe it's, but I've even heard people say that the second viewing, like, from the people I watch, go, the second viewing was actually, like, not bad. So I'm not quite sure what that is. Like, Wanda, I feel like people are criticizing the arc of Wanda, but I feel like it was definitely earned. Like, you have that whole Kamar-Taj battle sequence, and I'm like, this is insane. This is taking her power to an even, this is like higher, more powerful level than ever before. I mean, when you move upon beyond that into the sewer system, when they're going through the sewer, it was scary. I mean, this movie is scary, and I'm kind of getting off topic, but there was some MCU humor definitely in the first 20 minutes of this movie. So you get some, and you get some throughout the rest of the movie and up until the end. And there are certain references in this movie. I'm not going to list every single one for you guys, because we'll be here till probably forever. But now till next Thursday. But no, there were mentions from, like, other movies. There was a good reference here. This is probably a great one. When America Chavez and Doctor Strange and Wong are in a diner, and they make a joke about Spider-Man and the Avengers, and they're like, well, his name's Spider-Man. Well, what does he do? Do he just shoot webs out of his butt? I laughed. That was probably the moment I laughed the most out of the movie. But there were other references, for instance, from other Sam Raimi works like The Evil Dead, that if people going in this movie haven't seen those movies, they probably won't get. So I think that's something that's kind of an issue, not with the movie, with people's previous experience. So something I just want to mention to you beforehand going into this movie. The character, I'm going to mention, there's two things I have going side by side here, but the characters of this movie are pretty good. And I want to mention a couple things. So Doctor Strange, the main highlights here is Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange back in all sorts of different variations here. We have the regular Doctor Strange, we have Defender Strange, we have Zombie Strange. What was the other one? Sinister Strange. And I'm not here to tell you who's my favorite, because they're all different. But what was really unique was at the end of the movie when you have the final battle, and you have a regular Strange have to dreamwalk into the corpse of the Defender Strange, which is a zombie. Very unique because I love that scene. Very horror Sam Raimi-esque, but it tricks us. Because you think in the trailer that that's going to be the villain, but it's actually not. So yeah, that was great. Benedict Wong, great reprising his role there. Love him. Brings a lot to the table. Christine's back. She has a newer role than usual than in the previous movie. If you're thinking this is going to be What If and she dies, she doesn't. Let's see. Elizabeth Olsen steals the show. Okay, she is the show stealer in this movie. I'm going to review something a little bit, but I want to wait for that. America Chavez, I forget how to pronounce her name. Xochitl? Let's go with that. She's good. I like her. I would rather see a Disney Plus show about her than I would Echo, which if you're confused about who Echo is, she's actually the deaf woman Maya from Hawkeye, because they never mention her name Echo in the show, which is really frustrating. I would like to see an America Chavez show. I like the character. I want to see more of her. My one friend thought it was just outright cringe, but I'm like, this is a character that we need to see more of. I would not want to see any more of the Hawkeye characters, which I'm not crapping on Hawkeye, but it was just kind of weak. This character, we need more development with America Chavez, because I think it needs to be deserved. But that's just me. I don't know. Let me know. And the two boys are back after WandaVision, Wiccan and Speed, Billy and Tommy, Scarlet Witch's kids. I almost said Elizabeth Olsen's kids. They're not her real kids in real life. But yeah, it's really unique because, you know, when she's trying to find them, she says how she wanted to find Vision, but now she's trying to find her kids, the love for her kids. And Doctor Strange is like, they're not real. And she just completely ignores them and goes after them. And I'm so excited they're back. And when they played when Doctor Strange was like, I gotta go find Scarlet Witch or Wanda to help me out with this America Chavez multiverse thing. If you notice, they played a little bit of the WandaVision do. I flipped out when they played that. I was like, WandaVision. Also, the two boys are back. But their acting in this was like so mediocre compared to WandaVision. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, I love them in WandaVision, but their acting level just kind of went boop down there. I don't know what happened. So anyway, that's a little bit bizarre, but beyond that, I still like the characters. I want them to come back in the future for a Young Avengers project. I'm not saying that they're going to lead up to this, but it feels like a missed opportunity when they have like almost these young actors come in to play the Young Avengers. But I don't know. I'm not saying what Marvel should do. I am saying that it would be really, really cool to have them as Wiccan and Speed. I mean, they already have them in 2 projects. Like, why not come back for this? I don't know. Anyway, my thoughts, my theories, just spitting out ideas. By the way, the villain, I am going to get into major spoiler mode, so back out now if you don't want to be spoiled by major events. I think I only mentioned one or two, so you're spoiled already. The big villain, the big twist is that Wanda is the villain. I know, I said it. Wanda is the villain. She's already going after her kid. She has this huge high motivation. The Darkhold has taken over her. By the way, the plot of this movie I really am a fan of. If I haven't mentioned already, I love the horror aspects of this. The combination of the action and the horror combined really cranks it up a notch in my opinion for me. Like when you just see Zombie Strange at the end and well, I'm getting ahead of myself because there are other parts of the movie that I don't want to mention quite yet. But when you see just Wanda and Zombie Strange going at it in the end, it just makes for a really good battle. Like, I like these horror movies, and this combined, like Evil Dead, and this just makes it really nice to see this type of movie now in the MCU, which I am a fan of, and I couldn't get enough of it. I hope it comes back at some point, but if it doesn't, this is what we needed at this point in time, so I'm really happy about that. So, I think I was talking about, I was talking about the horror and the action. I had to plug in my camera because it was on low battery. But yeah, the horror and the action was great to see. So, yeah, when Wanda turns, when she ignores Doctor Strange, is going after her kids, and she turns, it is so great. It's just so horrifying. I love the turn and the villain turn. I was kind of speaking fast. I apologize. When people are saying that the villain turn wasn't earned, and I'm like, what? I like it. Okay, it feels like a good character arc. It has motivation, and I am a fan of this Sam Raimi horror stuff, right? And I've said this before, but just the way that she turns and is going after her kids, and the way that you see her limping, her anger, and her lust. I wouldn't call it lust, but just going after these kids, and the way that she turns with the Darkhold is something so terrifying that we've ever seen in the MCU. And by the way, I wouldn't recommend taking your kids to this movie. But if you feel like, hey, my kids have seen other stuff, take them. Okay, it's what you want to do. By the way, I'm going to get into well, I have a question. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Wanda is coming back after that, or do you think Wanda and the kids will come back? Because I am definitely curious to know if you think Wanda and Billy and Tommy will come back, because I feel like that was too easy of a final battle for Wanda for the Scarlet Witch to be killed that easily. But I feel like she'll be back in the future as the Scarlet Witch, either redeeming as a hero or redeeming as a villain back. Who knows? Maybe. But her contract said that she was up. I don't know if that's true or not. And I would really love to see Billy and Tommy back. But let me know in the comments below what you think. So, we're going to get into the cameos of the movie. And, by the way, this is not Doctor Strange in the Multiverse cameos. It's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. When they were flipping through the different universes, I was flipping out. I had to get on the edge of my seat and go, what is happening? What is that universe? What is that universe? And I just saw this video of New Rockstars sharing the 27 different universes, which... that's a great video. You should check it out to notice what all the different universes are, multiverses are, whatever they are. So when they're in that 838 universe, the regular universe is 616. But when they get to 838 and you see the Illuminati, instead of Doctor Strange, it's Supreme Strange. It's Supreme Baron Mordo, Captain Marvel from the Maria Rambeau, Carol Danvers, Black Bolt by Anson Mount, reprising his role as Black Bolt from the terrible Inhuman series. I watched it, unfortunately. It was beyond the worst thing I've ever seen. That's okay. And Professor X, which I'll get to in a minute. Reed Richards as well, and played by John Krasinski. That was awesome to see him, and they died some gruesome deaths as well. Black Bolt, wasn't there someone else on it? Or Baron Mordo, Black Bolt, Captain Marvel, and live action Captain Carter, Captain America, the first Avenger, played by Haley Atwell, is there as well, which was super awesome to see her in that live action role. And when she said, "I can do this all day," that was a great reference. I love that, hearing that one. So yeah, it was great to see all the Illuminati on screen. I hope John Krasinski comes back to direct the Fantastic Four movie and acts in it, because that's what we're all thinking now after John Watts said, "I don't want to direct the movie," thinking Kevin Feige told him that John Krasinski is going to direct Fantastic Four. So that's our theory. That's my theory, which I heard someone say. So I agree with it. So yeah, when X-Men, Charles Xavier, Patrick Stewart comes out in his olive green shirt in the yellow wheelchair, you hear the do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do little tune, the X-Men 90s theme that plays. I was getting some nostalgia in there. Even though I like the show a lot. My friend is sitting next to me and he doesn't even know, and then the credits roll and it's the songs come up and it's like 97! X-Men 97 theme, and I'm like, look, there it is, and he's like, when did that happen? And yeah, because I paid attention to it. I was paying attention for it and I heard it. So that was great as well. And I was a big fan. I cheered when the Illuminati cameos came on screen, and nobody else cheered in my theater. I mean, maybe just probably nobody cared. I feel like some people did care. Like when I heard like a brief sound when John Krasinski came on screen, but I don't know if that was just like a oh, or if that was like a whoa. Like it was so quiet. Like I was the only one going yeah. But, I mean, because, as you know, I like this stuff. But I feel like more people, as I said, this was not the multiverse of cameos, which is what people wanted. And I think after the letdown of the deaths, which was really great, I love the battle between the Illuminati. Even though it was gruesome, like, the mind blow, like, literally, the mind blow, the no mouth of Anson Mount as Black Bolt was terrifying. And then the scene where Wanda just straight up Professor X was, if you pause on that, like I saw it in the theater, but if you go to YouTube and pause on that frame where Wanda has the mouth like with Professor X killing him, pause on it, and her teeth, it's so terrifying. I love it. Love that stuff. By the way, there's eye violence when they're fighting Gargantos, and Gargantos gets stabbed in the eye. But it's freaky. It's great. And also the third eye with Sinister Strange, which I'm going to get to in a little bit here. So yeah, that Illuminati sequence when just Captain Carter gets stabbed in the torso midsection there, that's gruesome as well. Captain Marvel's I don't feel like is as gruesome, is as terrifying, because she gets crushed with a statue, and then like her armor just comes off her, and then she's like just killed. Like you just see her crushed, and her arm, like you just see her blood, or like she's not moving anymore. So she's gone, she's dead, but I don't feel like it was as like, oh my god, that was terrifying. She's crushed by a statue. Ah! Like to me, that wasn't like okay, like Captain Carter like stabbed in the chest, or like Anson Mount, like his head explodes, or John Krasinski, he pops. Like, that is terrifying. And John Krasinski, the way he died was insane, but I hope he comes back at some point. Please? Fingers crossed? I mean, I really hope he directs the movie. That would be lame if John Watts just gets like, I don't want to do it anymore, and then John Krasinski pops in this movie, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, psych, he's not going to direct the movie. It's like, fine, why? But I don't know. Yeah, so great battle sequence. Deaths were gruesome and horrifying. I think it was a worthy cause for this movie. Some people are like, well, they died. That made no sense. It wasn't meaningful. Well, it was meaningful to this movie because they were from other universes. We might see them again in other universes in another movie. Which is, I see some people complaining in elsewhere that well, that's the issue with the multiverse. You could just grab this guy and this guy and this guy. But I feel like Kevin Feige has a plan for the future, and it all makes sense in the end. Like one of my friends said, I was so confused with Loki, and this movie just made me even more confused. And I'm like, yeah, I can see that, but I think at the end of the day, once we get through this next like year or a couple years of Marvel movies, in the end, this phase is all going to make sense. Phase 4 is all going to make sense at some point, which I hope so. I mean, I'm liking it so far. I am still on board with Marvel. I feel like I'm going to make a video of why I am so on board with Marvel right now, but that's another story for another time. Getting off track a little bit, but let's get back to the movie. So, one of my favorite parts of this movie was the fight between regular Doctor Strange and Sinister Strange, which the eye was great. I love that aspect of the movie. Just noticing that Sinister Strange has even more power with the Darkhold, with that third eye opening up, has a symbolic reference there, a moment there. But when they fought with the music paper and then the notes, taking the notes out and fighting with all the notes, sheet music and the notes battling each other, that was epic. Like, I heard going into this movie different points and different topics and stuff, and people said the music battle was awesome, or the music battle wasn't great, and I'm like, ooh, wonder what that's gonna be. It was awesome. It was awesome. Now, let me step back and by saying, I am a huge fan of music. People going into this movie who probably aren't into music or anything like that, and just go, that was like so lame. I don't even know what was happening. Which my friend absolutely didn't know what was happening. Which, that and the Zombie Strange part, when all, like, the Dementor, I'm put that in quotes because they're not really Dementors, like, the demons flying around him, that was awesome. I love that stuff. But the music battle was awesome as well, with the notes flying around. I love that part. Like, dude, I mean, if they could have done anything, that was something that they needed. I mean, I'm not saying I had anything, like, worthy to do. Like, if they scrapped it from the movie, I wouldn't have said, okay, they needed a fight with music notes. But since it was in the movie, I'm like, well, that was pretty awesome. I dug it. I like the different motifs and sounds, like dun 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 dun, and like the Dracula theme that they played, and oh man, it was good. I like the music battle. A little bit of biasy because I have music, but I feel like if anybody likes music, that they'll enjoy that sequence in and of itself. So I really like that a bunch. Got 2 more topics here, and then I'm going to round out this video. So my last 2 topics here kind of coincide with each other here, but the first one was earlier, like kind of like halfway through the movie and at the end of the movie. So I'm going to talk about the end credit scene. So when Doctor Strange and America Chavez are traveling throughout the 27 universes, or throughout the different universes, and then they get to 838, the 838 universe, and he throws up. He's like, excuse me, he's like, no, this isn't my first weird trip. And then he throws up. It's like, yeah, there it is. And then they're in the universe, and he's like, they say, how'd you pay for that pizza ball? He's like, everything in this universe is free, which, that's pretty sweet. I like free stuff, so I'm like, I guess I gotta travel the multiverse to get me some free stuff, you know? But, make no money and everything is free. No, just kidding. So, but then when they walk up to the guy who has the pizza balls, his name is the Pizza Papa. And now I don't know if any of my friends, I gotta ask my friends if they knew who it was. But I flipped out because I thought there was only 1 cameo of him, but there were 2 times he was in the movie. It was Bruce Campbell! The Bruce Campbell cameo. Now, I'm not here to tell you guys, I like Bruce Campbell. I'm not here to tell you guys this is in place of Stan Lee. But this, like, what's better? But I'm not going to say that this is better than Stan Lee. But it was funny nonetheless. And he's like, and he makes him a curse to just keep punching himself for 3 weeks. He's like, here, have some mustard on that. And then he squirts the mustard in his face and then keeps punching himself. That was funny. I liked it. I laughed at that when he was there, when he showed up on screen. I was like, yeah, Bruce Campbell cameo. And then we finally reached the end of the movie, which I had heard stuff about this movie, which I personally don't care. So once we got to the end of the movie, I knew that he showed up at the end, but I didn't know what the scene was. So the first end credit scene was when the movie ends. You see our regular Doctor Strange walking down the street after the finale concludes, and you see that the Darkhold is taken over, and that the third eye opens up on his forehead, symbolically meaning that the Darkhold has taken over him, and he's corrupted. And then the glorious, the beautiful main title theme comes up with all the different titles of the actors and whatnot. The animation comes up, and then after that happens, the mid-credit scene pops up, and Doctor Strange is walking down the street, and you see this woman come up to him in this outfit, and I know it's this famous actress. I forgot her name when I was seeing the movie. I forget it now, but that's not important. The character is Clea, and she actually is the niece of Dormammu in the comics. And she says to him, "You've caused an incursion. Come with me." She takes this sword, slices a crack open to the dark dimension, and he comes. The third eye opens, and he's like, "I'll join you." We don't know who it is. They don't reveal. They don't say it's Clea, but I got a kick out of seeing them together go off. Some people are saying it didn't mean anything. I'm expecting something big. So anyway, that's just me. I'm excited for what it holds, for what it has in store. So that was that first one. I'm excited about it. This next one, after the long, 7 so minutes, Bruce Campbell comes back, and he's punching himself, and he's like, "Oh, it's done. 3 weeks is over." I loved it. It's funny, okay? It's supposed to reveal silliness of the movie. It's Sam Raimi goofy slapstick stuff. It's Bruce Campbell, okay? If you don't know who it is, if you don't know Sam Raimi, you're probably going to hate yourself for waiting that long. But if you don't even know Marvel movies, I mean, you have to wait that long. So I got a kick out of watching it, especially that end credit scene. I like the movie as a whole. Seeing him say, "It's over!" So that was the end, and me and my friends had a great time discussing this movie. I definitely had a great time watching it. I would see it again, maybe at home, but for sure, this is a movie theater experience. Be sure to check it out. Watch up there the card of the vlog. I had a great time with this. Really did. I am looking forward to Thor: Love and Thunder. Going to see that movie with my friends as well. If there's anything I missed, be sure to tell me down below in the comments. This is everything I wanted to talk about here today, and let me know if there's something I missed. Answer the question: will Wanda or the kids come back in the future? Like to know your thoughts on that. And I definitely say this is a must-see in theaters, an A overall, and must-watch. I'm going to give it a 9. That's too much. Maybe an 8. An 8 out of 10. There's two spots there, 2 numbers there for room for improvement, but the horror got me. The soundtrack got me, the acting, the new characters, just everything, I think, got me. I mean, after, there were some things I think that they could have improved upon, but I feel like for the most part, the kid actors, I can't fault them. Who knows, maybe it was a dialogue thing, but anyway, there's a little bit of stuff that I might need to rewatch, but for the most part, I love this movie for what it was. I feel like some of my friends would disagree, but for me, for what I love about Marvel, for what I love about Sam Raimi, for what I love about horror, just give me more. I don't know. I didn't know I needed it, but give me more. 8 out of 10. Must watch in theaters. Let me know what you thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned for more movie reviews, more vlogs, more stuff like this on the channel, and as always, I have been looking forward to this review. I'm sorry about my Moon Knight review. If you guys thought it was mediocre, I apologize. But anyway, that's beyond it. That's nonsense. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me at BobaFettJMaster. Link is down below, and hit that like button. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me. Don't forget to keep calm, play Lego. Peace out. Bye, everyone.